Hey guys, I have a couple things I want to communicate today. One is very practical, how the teacher guide is different from the student guide. And then the other two are principles that I want you to hold in mind and to pass on to your disciples, not just this first week, but as the 24 weeks continue on. So the first thing I want you to see is in the book, you have text that is bold and text that is in regular print. So the text that is a regular print, that is what your disciples have in their book. Anything in bold, they do not have. If you see something in bold that is italicized and is in parentheses, that's kind of a note to you, a way to think about something or to approach something. If it is not italicized, not in parentheses, but it's bold, that's a suggested way to communicate something. By no means do we expect you to read this. We just are giving you an idea of how you could say something. And so yeah, make it your own. Underline the keywords that help you remember what you want to say. The next thing I want to give you are a couple principles to keep in mind over the next 24 weeks. Every single week, you are going to be checking in with your disciples on how they did with their focus time, and how in about 5 weeks you'll be checking on how they're doing with their memory verse. And some are going to excel from week 1. They're going to be consistent, they're going to have a good rhythm, they're going to be getting a lot from it. And then you're going to have, typically you'll have at least 1 or 2 who struggle and say, I can't do this, or I'm too busy. And you may be tempted to be frustrated. So first of all, don't be frustrated. Remember, you are not responsible for the choices that they make, and you're responsible to keep encouraging, keep pushing, and just keep creating the opportunity and a space for them to have accountability to grow. The next thing to keep in mind to pass on to them is less is more. And what I mean by that is often people are inconsistent because they're doing too much. So they had one great focus time that was an hour one time, and they think that's the only way to have a focus time from then on. So what I really try to encourage people to do is, if they are not being consistent, go shorter. So with the summary key point application, if they're not consistent, 1 or 2 sentences for the summary, 1 or 2 sentences for the key point, 1 or 2 sentences for the application. Once they are consistent, encourage them to feel all the freedom they want to in the world to go longer. But this is what I want you to keep in mind. Be concise to be consistent. Okay, so you have someone who's not being consistent. That's one of the questions you can troubleshoot with. How much are you, when you are having your focus time, how much time are you spending doing it? Once they're consistent, they will grow into depth, into length. But we really are trying to help them develop a habit in their life. The next thing I want to help you to keep in mind is going back to this idea of sometimes that we can feel discouraged or frustrated if our people continue to struggle over time to build these habits and or make excuses for it. And so, or sometimes people beat themselves up. They really will feel like a failure, and that is not at all what we want to give them. Okay, we are not creating legalism. What we want to do is create habits in our life that position us in such a way that we can be moved by God, we can grow, we can hear from Him. So in these habits that we're building, I want you to really keep in mind persistence over perfection. Persistence over perfection. So we're not looking for people to necessarily have a focus time every single day of their life. Yes, that's great. We would love that. The thing is, we want persistence. Keep getting back up. Okay, so instead of wallowing in that you didn't have it for a week or the entire time you're on vacation, get back up. Persistence over perfection. Don't worry about not getting it perfect. Get back up again. Persistence over perfection. The persistence part too is relax. If you're on week 10 and you have someone who's still only having it once or twice a week, remember, we get to do this for 24 weeks. And remember, it's at the end of the day, you're creating an opportunity for them with what you're teaching and with the accountability that you're helping provide. But just let the process work. Persistence over perfection. Concise to be consistent. I'm so excited to kick this week off with you guys. Thanks so much.